Hey everyone, welcome to the Alby Living Life podcast. Today, before I start, I just wanted to say I'm so grateful for the support and the nice compliments I've been getting through messages and all that. For my new listeners, or the ones that have not yet subscribed, if you like the show, kindly hit the subscribe button and the like button. For today's show, I have a special guest who also is a fellow Instagrammer that lives in Southern Cali. She goes by the name of Abigail D Photography. All right, welcome to the show, Abigail.
Welcome. Thank you, Alex. Nice to be on the show, and thank you for asking me. It's quite a treat.
Oh, you're most welcome. I'm glad you joined me, actually. So, yeah, I kind of look at your photos, and it looks like you got over 3,300 followers now. You've done a really great job in the last... Looks like you joined this in about a year and a half ago. Is that right?
That is correct. It's about a year and 8 months. So,
Yeah, good for you. That's quite the building there. I think... I'm probably about a year. I think I started about a year before you did. So it's really different. I mean, the earlier you start in this game, it seemed like it was easier to build at that time. But yeah, but good job for you.
Thank you.
I just want to talk about a few of your photos that I really want to showcase to the listeners here and how you kind of capture Southern Cali. I mean, you have some really amazing shots. Like, I really like a lot of your pictures and all that. So let's start. One you just posted a few days ago. It says Orange County, California on it. It says golden hour along the Southern California coastline with views stretching to Palos. It kind of cuts out there, but I'll let you kind of explain that picture and that day and why you took that photo and all that.
Okay, well, the winter season here in Southern California, the best time for the golden sunsets and the incredible colors that really form in the sky. So just want to take every opportunity to go out and see the beautiful sunsets. And last week, we definitely had some amazing nights. I wasn't able to catch all of them, but I definitely very happy with the couple of nights that I went out. So this night I went out for a local, hike around Orange County, and the sunset was just fantastic, and it really had a fantastic orange glow to it.
So this time you kind of went out for that hike, and then the moment just came up, and then you just snap a shot. I'm sure, like myself, like I've had to pull my car over a few times and just say, wait a second here. There's a picture here just to take, right? So I'm sure you've done that multiple times yourself, but I really like the haze in the background behind the mountains and overlooking like the city and all that. Like, it's a really nice shot there.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, you get the fog and the haze off the ocean and as the sun sets. And I'm kind of like fortunate to be able to live by the coast. So
Yes.
I do have the opportunity to kind of like be there while it's happening at like 5:30, 6 o'clock, or when the sun's going down, you know?
Like, Cali's kind of my second home because I have all my relatives down in San Fran, and I generally try to get down there like at least every couple of years or just to see them. And I do go down to, Disneyland and all that stuff too. So I really enjoy going down to California. Let's go with your second picture now. We have something that looks like Corona Del Mar. We're not making fun of the coronavirus here, but it's just named that way. So you have one on August 28th with the water coming in, and it's a nice little sun in the background with that one tree sticking out, which I really like that capture of that tree there. I think that's really cool. Yeah, you want to talk about that shot?
This was actually one of those days that I went to experiment with my long exposure, because recently I've been getting into the long shutter speed photography and long exposure, and the conditions were kind of right, and I just was playing around. So there's lots of great composition at this particular beach, so you get a variety of different perspectives that you can shoot from.
Yeah. Do you use a filter for these? Like, because I know during night photography, long exposures is a bit different. You can just use your camera. But I think, did you need like an ND filter for this or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I used my polarizer, and then I have a collection of different ND filters, and I'm really enjoying using them. I use Polar Pro. I just thoroughly love that product and just their glass and how the picture and the color comes out. So,
Do you use a regular professional camera or do you use like your phone? It sounds like you use, majority of the time you use your professional camera. Is that right?
yeah, I'm shooting with a Nikon Z7, and I've always used Nikon before,
Okay.
and I use Nikon glass, and I switched over to the mirrorless camera about 2 years ago,
Okay.
and I've got some Z glass, and really, I'm just very happy with the quality of the lens, you know.
Yeah, it's you're doing great shots with them anyways. If I really want to learn that long exposure daytime game, haven't dabbled on into it yet, but I plan to. And I've always been into the night photography with the long exposures and all that, but the daytime ones not so much. And I just want to start learning that too. We have a third picture here on June 2nd, Laguna Beach. This shot is just simply amazing. It's got the nice little rocks. I guess it's almost like a silhouette almost, and you got some cloud formation in the back with the sunset. Looks like another golden hour again. Go ahead and talk about that photo.
This particular night, I think we were just walking along the neighborhood around where this was taken, and just the weather. It was I think it was in the what month was this? This was
June.
June.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the weather was really nice. I couldn't remember when it was actually.
All good.
So the weather was really nice, and it was a really lovely sunset. And I think this was actually the shot where I met a gentleman. That's right. I met a gentleman on the beach, and I was practicing my long exposures, and he was there. He actually had a Nikon 2 on his tripod, and we were just talking, and he was helping me with the different shutter speeds and balancing the exposure, and we just kind of like sat there and chatted while the sun set, and I just captured this really glorious view, you know?
Isn't that funny, like how some photos would just remind us of what's going on that day? So it's really nice to just snap shots because like you just said, you just met somebody and you kind of chatted and learned a little bit about photography. There's photos of mine too that where I've taken and I could recall like vividly what was going on that day. It's so funny, eh? There's a story behind every picture.
There certainly is.
Yeah. So with this shot, what I like about this is how the ocean kind of goes back into its ocean, I guess, and you see the nice glass reflection off the beach there, and the sunset just making it all kind of golden orange. Yeah, I really like that. That's really cool.
Very soothing to the eye.
Yeah, for sure. Last picture that I want to talk about, and this one I think is my favorite shot. It was taken on May the 2nd. It's got a fuchsia tinge to it, to some pinks and some blues, and I see somebody standing, a few people standing on the beach there with the nice reflection off the water again, nice reflection off the beach. Like this is just captured like beautifully. The colors are amazing. I love colors, so it's always nice to see someone like pop out colors like that. So great shot. And can you talk about that one?
Yeah, this is in La Jolla in San Diego, and it's always a hopping spot down there to just go and hang out, walk along the beach, see the sea lions, and this area to the left is like Baby Beach, and all the seals kind of hang out there, and you've got all the cliffs. So there's lots of fantastic composition, and the waves are just coming and crashing in over the wall, and yeah, the sunset was pretty spectacular that evening.
Definitely my favorite shot, I think, out of all your pictures. Like, I mean, they're all good. You highlight the sunsets really well, and the area that you live around. You do some nice shots in the forest as well. So no, good for you. Good on you with all these pictures, and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, Al.
Yeah, so the other thing that I noticed about your Instagram is you get a lot of comments. So good for you for that. Again, my number one thing for building is always engagement. And I see that out of all your photos, you get quite a bit of comments on your photos. It's not an easy task to go back in and be grateful and say thanks to everybody. But good for you for keeping that up and building on comments, because that's a hard thing to do, to build comments and to have people actually comment on your photos. That means they've taken the time to look at your photo and actually give what they're feeling or what they're seeing. And I find it's like super, super important just to go back in and say your thanks. Is there tips that you can provide to the listeners of my show of how you've been building your 3,300 plus on Instagram over the last year and a half?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I started, like I said, about a year and 8 months ago, and I really just wanted to share my pictures online, because this is the only way I think that you can actually share with a large audience your pictures. And I'm really grateful for everybody commenting. And naturally, I think you just say thank you and appreciate that they're actually looking and taking the time. And I mean, obviously I do the same thing for other people that I follow, because that's what you do. I mean, if you follow somebody, then you generally enjoy watching their feed and what they're posting. So I think that for what I'm doing right now, and I'm like just a beginner, I think, because I just don't really know too much about Instagram and the whole social media thing, but I'm just being consistent. And I'm staying engaged with other Instagrammers that are commenting. And I guess the number one thing is just not to be discouraged by the likes and just the activity that you get, because I really don't think there's any rhyme or reason to the whole algorithm with Instagram. And I seriously don't get it. I mean, do you, Al?
Yeah, it is a very tricky game, that's for sure. I tend to, it's kind of funny, like I look at the reach that I get for each photo. It kind of breaks it down for me. Some hit like the 10,000 mark, where I actually hit 10,000 people saw my picture, and then I go into a post and I notice that only 2,000 people saw that, the next one. So I kind of, with my little tricks of the trade, I guess, I kind of put more, I'll change up my hashtags quite often enough. So sometimes I'll use all my Vancouver, because I live in the Vancouver area, that I'll just start using all the Vancouver hashtags. And then those guys would, it's a good thing to do when you post up a picture and you actually go back in to that hashtag, like in the next hour or two, the hashtags that you used anyways, go in there and take a look where your picture fell. Like, so did it fall in their top 9, or did it not even make their cover? That's a kind of the telltale sign for me that it shows that, okay, these people are actually putting me in their top 9. Or if there's a hashtag out there and I look at it and, geez, I'm nowhere to be found. So I pop them out the very next time. If I'm not on their page, I'm taking them out. So then the next hashtag I'll go into, I'll use a different hashtag. There may be times where people, like the hashtags in Vancouver, may not focus on me so much for some strange reason, like you were saying, the algorithms, right? So then I would just change it right out. I would take everything from Vancouver out and I'll put in something totally different. If I'm doing a hiking shot, maybe I won't mention that it's from the Vancouver area. Maybe I'll just do all hiking hashtags and go that way. So that's kind of the way I trick the algorithms a bit. I also go into like some of my old pictures and I'll hit the people that I kind of look at who liked my photo back then, and I'll start going to each of their accounts and just seeing if I missed any of their posts. And sure enough, a lot of the times I would miss a lot of their posts. So that gets them back into my algorithm again, and then I can see their stuff and they could see my stuff again. So those are little tricks. It's a lot of work, but yeah, it's quite tricky though. Do you have any more questions about that?
No, I mean, I just think that, Instagram has changed the way that they're doing things. So I think it maybe is a little bit harder to kind of navigate as to what to do. But, I mean, with all saying that, I mean, the most important thing is just keep doing what you're doing and taking the pictures and then don't let that take away from your enjoyment of photography. I think that's what's really important, because you can definitely get sucked into that channel of the whole social media and likes and comments.
That's right.
And And at the end of the day, it's your picture and what matters to you.
Exactly.
If other people like it, that's great, but
I agree, 100%.
stay positive. And
Yep.
there's, even through this whole pandemic thing,
Mm-hmm.
even though we can't travel or go to the places that we would really like to go to now, there's different ways to get creative and still stay interested in your photography.
That's right. Yeah. How often do you post?
Well, I post every day, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe like every other day now. But and again, I don't know what the rule of thumb is, but
Yeah.
the algorithm, I haven't. But I mean, I try to stay connected every day to everybody.
Yeah. Do you notice a difference of like your days posting? Like, say, for instance, do you notice you get more engagements on a Monday or a Wednesday or a Friday, or how does your weekends work? Have you noticed, or do you dive that deep into your account?
I do. I mean, I do look into the insights, and I do look at what days are best to post,
Mm-hmm.
and what posts are doing better, and the overview. And obviously, Instagram has kind of like hidden quite a few of the areas. I just with the new rules, but I haven't figured it out yet, Al.
Yeah.
I have not figured it out because to me it doesn't make sense. And so I just am focusing on teaching myself some new tricks and and doing some, different. I don't know. I mean, I enjoy all different types of photography, so
Yeah,
I
me
don't
too.
really have a particular niche. I
Okay.
would say. How
Yeah.
about you?
Yeah, I guess I just focus more on. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of open as well. I like doing. If I'm doing night photography, it's usually of the city or of light trails or something like that. And if it's, I love doing hiking photos. I still do all that. Like anytime I go on a hike, I'll be posting up my hiking photos. I try to represent the city as well as I can. Those are the three things that I really kind of take pictures of. As for posting, I used to post every day. I think I did that for about a year. My co-host before, Yuri, taught me, like, he was on the game a couple years before I was, and he mentioned to me, yeah, post every day, and I I can definitely agree to that, to say you should be posting every day for at least the first year while you're trying to build. Everybody's building for their own reasons, I guess, but like most of it should be for enjoyment. Now I went down to about 5 days a week, and now I'm just doing 3 days a week. But I'm also concentrating on my podcast now, so 3 days a week is good for me. But I recommend to all other Instagrammers, if they're starting the game or in the game, that they should be posting minimum 3 times a week to 7 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and stories are huge. Even if you don't have time to post, even if you just take what you're doing that moment and post a story, that's definitely being visual.
Yeah, that's a great tip too. Yeah. Is there any other tips that you'd like to provide? Like, what do you feel about the timing of your post? Do you feel that the morning's kind of better, or the afternoon, or the nighttime, or does it vary?
Well, I mean, kind of narrowed it down because, a lot of my Instagram followers are either in the US or Canada, and some are in England and Australia, and some in Europe.
Yeah.
So, it does tell me as to when people are, engaged online. So
Yes.
I tend to post more in the morning.
Yeah, me too.
For me, because you're West Coast too.
Yes.
So morning to me is probably best as well. Yeah, and I'm looking at your account, Al, as well, and then, as I'm just looking, scrolling through, and I see, you love color,
I
and
do.
you got some fantastic trees in Vancouver, I
Oh,
must
thank
say.
you. I didn't create them; they're there.
No, they're probably like all snowed on now, but they look very pretty.
Yeah, honestly, the funny thing, Abigail, everybody that hasn't been up to Canada and they're American, they seem to think we snow here. The West Coast barely snows. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, we barely get get any snow up here. I mean,
What do I know then, right?
if we get hit with snow, we get hit. It may linger around for a week, maybe a little, like 2 weeks at the most. But for the most part, we're only we're not that far away from Seattle. Actually, we're a very quick drive down there. So we have the similar kind of, I guess, I don't know, temperature and all that stuff. It's relatively the same. In Seattle, they actually get hit with more snow than we do, because we actually have the Vancouver Island blocking us. So we don't really get that much snow maybe once every 3 years we get a little bit of snow, but that's it. We don't really get that cold here. We're the most, I'd say we are the most mild weather in Canada compared to the rest of Canada. If you're talking about the middle of Canada and the East Coast and all that, they get hammered in snow. So we don't on this side. It's kind of like our little secret here, but I'm sure a lot of people know about it. So our trees are still here. The things that we get a lot of is we get a lot of rain.
Right.
Yeah, so we get lots and lots of rain. Like I would say it rains pretty much half the year here, but for the people that are born and raised here like myself, we've kind of grown gills, so we got used to it.
That's why it's so lush and green,
exactly, and colorful.
Color.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Actually, you mentioned that you have a photography website. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I created my website a few months ago, and I've just recently been, adding different pictures that I've been posting to get the bigger picture. Obviously, because you can only, there's only so much size or space on the Instagram page, and
That's
you
right.
can show it. So it's some of them, the majority, like yours, I'm sure, are like cut off.
Yeah.
So
it's annoying.
It's very annoying because you want to show the whole thing. So
That's right.
At least on your website, you can actually show the whole scene, which is nice. So that's what I've been doing.
What's your website?
It's AbigailDianePhotography.com.
Okay. Sounds good. So if you guys want to go and jump onto her website and take a look, go for it. But yeah, Abigail, I thank you for joining the show today. It was nice really chatting with you. It's nice to put a voice to the face, I guess, or a picture, I should say. So I hope you had fun.
It was a lot of fun, Al, and it was really nice chatting to you. And definitely, listeners out there, please visit Al's account too and check out his podcast, because he's got a really nice selection of different photographers that he's actually recently interviewed. So it was very nice chatting to you, Al, and I look forward to your upcoming posts.
No, thank you. Likewise. So if you're not giving Abigail a follow, please give her a follow. She goes under the name of Abigail D Photography. That's ABIGAILD PHOTOGRAPHY. Geez, almost didn't know how to spell photography there. But anyways, to my listeners, please subscribe and hit the like button. And that's it. I hope you have a great week. We'll catch you next week. Thanks.
Yeah, and happy holidays to you too.
Exactly. Happy holidays.